Are you ready for this sickness? Let's get into it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Economics and Comics. I'm Bill, and this is Joel from GoneWithTheTwins.com. Movie critic, we went and saw Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Is the Force with this movie? I'll let Joel do a brief kind of catch you up, well, whatever he's got to do, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. We're not going to really do any spoilers, I don't think.
That everybody's kind of very much keep it spoiler free so that everybody can kind of enjoy what's coming. But
yeah, good luck. Most of the trailer kind of gives away most of it, but go ahead.
Actually, I managed to avoid trailers completely for this film, so I had no idea going in anything that was going to happen. But the opening text scroll, they immediately tell you that that Palpatine might be returning, and so I guess for me that was a kind of like a big revelation. It's like, oh wow, they're both a big revelation and a little bit of a disappointment. I'm like, they're bringing back Palpatine. Why is there? I thought, is there no better villain to bring into this universe than to just keep bringing back the same one? But yeah, so this opening text doesn't really.
I didn't like the opening.
Yeah, it was kind of it was a bit underwhelming.
Thrown together.
Yeah, it felt a bit underwhelming and kind of just like
it was made for just like really like young people to understand or something. Like the opening text did not get me going. The music did, but I'm just waiting for it to pan to a moon or an Earth after. Yeah. But I'm like, wow, there's 3 paragraphs and they're very simple. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, but anyway.
Yeah. So basically, in those 3 paragraphs. Somehow they hear a message that Palpatine might be returning. It doesn't explain who heard it or
a voice.
The galaxy heard it, some apparently. But so Leia and her whatever's left of the rebellion after the last movie, they're in search of more information, mm-hmm. and it says they have a spy within the First Order, mm-hmm. So they're trying to locate that spy and get more info from the spy. And then in the meantime, Kylo Ren also apparently heard the same message that Palpatine might be returning, and now he wants to go find Palpatine and kill him because he wants to be in charge of everything, and he's afraid that if Palpatine does return, Palpatine will be in charge. So that's the basic premise of this. And so, yeah.
Okay, so for the people that are Star Wars lifers, like 4, 5, and 6 are your episodes, I'm with you there, okay? And I feel like J.J. Abrams tried to bring it back, but what I got out of the movie was every scene was a homage or a shout out to another scene from all the movies. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, what is it, 7, 8?
Yeah, very much
like,
so.
Not without, there's this fight scene with the 2, and it's not really going to spoil too much. They're on like a water world. And it reminded me of, in number 3, when Anakin and then we're fighting on a lava world.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it was
but you could go even further and say, there's basically a speeder bike chase. There's a
Return of the Jedi
prison break scene that's exactly like the one from New Hope.
Everything's the same.
Yeah, there's so much homage going on.
If they weren't trying, a lot of problem with this franchise is that 1, 2, and 3 were a copy of 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, and 9 are like a copy of that. There's only like one way. You see the growing up of the Jedi, and then they fight the bad guy. And I get it because of the Force. There's good and bad, and you got to do that. But I thought for sure that he would try to get away from it from this final thing. And I mean, it was like in your face, nonstop homage to every single movie. I mean, they brought people back at the end. There's some things I don't understand, but they had to almost say like everybody. You had to like.
Did you enjoy the nostalgia of that kind of thing, or did it?
Some of it, I'm like, oh, there it is. There's one of them. There's them again.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I enjoyed some. I love Star Wars, okay, and I enjoyed this, and there's a finality to this. Like, it's like basically saying this is it. Like, maybe for another 10 years. Unless they do, I don't know what. I think they probably go with the show now with Mandalorian, which is a good move because that show's badass. But J.J. Abrams, it felt like 2 hours and 20 minutes of thrown together all the same scripts, all the same plots, all together in one, except for Palpatine being back. There's some things that I didn't understand. I mean, I understood, but it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think for me, the more you think about it, the more you dig into it. There's a lot of little things that I could nitpick. That it's maybe not even mistakes, but just things that are like, well, why? If you're gonna, it's opening up a can of worms, because there's, if they can do this, well, why can't they do that? And how can they do this all of a sudden? And why did this person have this powers or something? It's just a lot of it raises more questions than it answers a lot of the times. But it is kind of interesting that Abrams is the one that did episode 7, and then Rian Johnson came along and kind of derailed everything he was doing, and now Abrams has to come back and kind of pick up the pieces and perhaps revert it back into the.
I feel like this movie was rushed.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they rushed the hell out of this. Like, to be, and look, it is a fun. I'm pretty sure number 9 is it, unless they do something totally off the wall different. But to be the final movie, they threw it together too damn fast. There's so many things I hate.
Did you find that in the first 30 minutes of the movie, every scene ended about 5 seconds too fast? Did you feel that? I felt that very much so.
I felt like everything
they kept cutting to a new scene, just cutting, and then the next scene, and next scene, and next scene, and you never got a chance to kind of breathe in the moment. That's what I'm saying,
thrown together. Yeah. They had to put so much together for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Of course I enjoyed it, but man, it can't touch anything else. I like the ideas that they did, and there's some things like, why did this happen? And they could have done this, and then, like you said, but it's just.
Did you enjoy any of the twists and turns and things that they?
What twists? It's like everything you can expect, pretty much. There will be a question going into this movie, like, is what's her name? I'm sorry.
Right?
Is she bad or good or what? Because in the previews, it shows her holding like the red dual Darth Maul type of deal, and the movie's called Rise of Skywalker. So you go in there thinking, okay, well, the only, in my mind, not to spoil it, but I told Mike, his brother, I said, dude, Kylo Ren's gonna be good because he's a Skywalker, dude.
Yeah.
She is not a Skywalker. So, a lot of things.
If you take the title literally.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the title can mean multiple things after you see the end, which is ridiculous too. But I don't know. I enjoyed it, but oh man, some of the new characters were dumb. They were so dumb. Like right at the beginning, you see a guy in the Millennium Falcon. I'm like, what is that thing? I just have to say, like, come on. What is that?
Did you not like little Babu, the guy who was
Well, no one knows what that is. Spoiler. I like that, but it's trying to appeal with the little dudes and the next little dude. Look, Baby Yoda rules, okay? I don't care what happens from now on. Baby Yoda is the coolest thing on Earth. You like Ewoks? I don't care. Baby Yoda's cooler. But, and then they had the little ones from the last episode.
The Porgs.
Little Porgs. Everyone made a cameo in this.
Yeah. Well, I get what he's trying to do. It's the final episode. He's trying to get everybody back together, the gangs back together for one final showdown. So.
And that's why it felt super thrown together. And like every final scene is always the same thing. Dude, it's always the same. They're going to destroy. We have to get our ships in there. We have to destroy them. We have to turn the antenna off. We have to shut down the thing. It's the Dude, come up with something new. Just the final one, and they don't come up with something new. It's the same damn thing every time.
If you look at episode 7, you could say that was essentially a remake of A New Hope.
Well, that's the thing. 3... Well, of course, that's the whole problem. That's why Star Wars people hate all this stuff, is because 4, 5, and 6 was it. And then they did it again in 1, 2, and 3, same thing. And then they did 7, 8, 9, same thing, dude. Yeah. Like I said, the problem is with the good and evil. There's a good and a bad, and you have to stop the bad all the time. And it takes 3 movies to do it, and you have to see the growth of a character. But why did they... I guess they had no choice, is what I'm saying. If you want to go back and do Anakin, it's the same thing as Luke's journey. And then you want to go do these guys, same thing. Different story, but same thing. And that's what's so frustrating about it.
I felt like this one visually, maybe not necessarily story-wise, but definitely action-wise and visually, it felt a little more like a Star Wars film than the previous one. With Rian Johnson's Last Jedi, the way the film was, the visuals, the action, the storytelling, didn't feel quite like a Star Wars movie. Whereas this one, I think Abrams kind of has a handle on it a little better as far as filmmaking goes, how to recreate that Star Wars feel.
As much as I didn't like 7, that was the closest one to anything. I think my personal view, J.J. Abrams on number 7, gave me the closest feel to 4, 5, and 6 than any of the others, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But after that, it was downhill. And in this movie, like I said, you guys, it's thrown together. There's some cool stuff in there. But
there's a lot of very contrived, very easy storytelling where they say the entire first half of the movie is basically a treasure hunt. Mm-hmm. And they say, "Oh, we've got to find this thing that will lead us to this thing."
It's like an Indiana Jones feel.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, a little strange that I'm like, what? They can't come up with something better than that.
But what's different than any other movie? They're always doing the same thing. They're on a journey to get something or find something out or rescue somebody. Everyone's always getting caught. You know, the stormtroopers can never kill one person, and the only people that ever die are in the air battles. Every time a dude flying a X-wing or whatever dies every time. But if you have 500 stormtroopers and 2 people, dude, they cannot hit anything. It's just the dumbest thing, dude. I want to see people.
It's because they're stealing orphans to be stormtroopers.
So they're missing.
Yeah, they're
missing.
They're terrible
that
shots.
That could be my aunt.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're terrible shots.
Oh yeah,
they're a bunch of little kids that grew up.
But that's the other problem is they're supposed to be clones.
Yeah. Well, no, not in this. In the previous things, but
yeah, which kind of interests me about the whole stealing baby thing. Mm-hmm. That reminds me of Mandalorian, because in Mandalorian, I hate to do this, we're doing Star Wars runs, but they always talk about how they like you can see them like trying to steal kids and stuff, and like his parents get killed and stuff. It's very similar. Maybe that, I don't know.
Yeah, just that the idea that the Empire that's how they have to recruit people is to steal children.
And which is stupid, because in 1 and 2 and 3, they figured out how to clone. Yeah. And in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they forgot how to clone. Come on.
It had something to do with the clones being...
There's cloning in 9.
I know, but there was the Clone Wars where they outlawed cloning. Something to do with that. I can't remember.
Dude, they're bad guys. Yeah. But you do get answers for... what was that? Snoke?
Snoke.
You get answers about Snoke, and you get some other answers.
But not enough.
Well,
right?
you know that I can't say it. No, enough. He tells you what you could see in the part what Snoke is. And you get answers about everybody. There is one thing, though, that's really funny. What's his name kept telling her, I have something to tell you over and over and over again?
Yeah.
And he never told her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did he?
No.
Never once. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But he was tinkering around like he had the Force. Like he kept saying, oh, I think she's... Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, he definitely has Force abilities. Finn.
He's got something.
I mean, he's been wielding a lightsaber through all 3 movies, hasn't
Well, he's a stormtrooper. He can fight. He can use a weapon.
But a Jedi weapon?
But he doesn't do any, like, Force stuff.
Yeah.
But the Force stuff's pretty cool. That's another problem is these guys are so powerful, and, you know, they throw a guy on the wall and choke him out, or, you know, whatever. Or they can fly almost. And then all of a sudden you get surrounded by a couple people and you can't throw them around. You got to get in a fist fight. It doesn't make any sense, dude. I would snap my fingers and choke them all out. You know, I mean, so many things. I expected more from the what is it, the Final Order, or what was the group called? The 7. They touch on it in number 7. The group that hangs out with Kylo Ren.
Oh, the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, so those are them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in there. And they're weak, kind of, dude. Like, you don't see much from them.
They're kind of just like glorified stormtroopers.
Yeah, with a cool costume.
Yeah. But you never get to see them really do anything much. So, yeah, it's a little bit underwhelming as far as...
You would think they'd be pretty badass, but they're not.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be like almost
I thought they
Jedis,
had the
right?
Force, yeah.
Yeah,
they don't.
From what I've heard, that's what they're supposed to be.
They're probably just Jedi killers. Like, trained to kill Jedi, if I recall.
Well, they were trained to be
they're definitely
Jedi.
not Sith.
No.
They don't have powers.
Yeah.
They just have, I don't know. It's just, for a finale, okay? Now, like, I think we're in agreement. Number 9 is the end. of it all.
Yeah, until it makes $1 billion, and they're like, well, let's do 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, which
But
I don't know how they're going to do.
I believe Disney said they're going to stop for a long time.
They
after
should.
This. Yeah. So,
But you get the feel. Yeah, in the end, it's the end.
Yeah.
You get the feeling. But for that to be the end of 9 movies, it wasn't good enough.
yeah.
That's
Although,
how I feel.
for me, it was still better than the last one.
Oh, yeah.
I still liked it better than The Last Jedi. So.
Well, I like the things they introduced in here and stuff like, like...
One of the things I think they did
Answers.
a lot better in this film was the humor. In the previous film, in Last Jedi, they did humor that was not organic to the Star Wars franchise at all. They would do, at the opening scene of the previous one, they have this weird conversation where the pilot, Poe Dameron, is talking to Hux. He says, anybody there? I'm waiting. I'm trying to talk to Hux. You there? There's this weird conversation that's supposed to be the humor, and that kind of thing, like a conversation of humor like that, is not something that you normally see in a Star Wars film. And now with this one, I think they bring it back and make it a little more. They take characters that are already there instead of adding in extra character relief. Now C-3PO is once again the comedy relief, and instead of like trying to add more characters.
What's funny is, what's really interesting is C-3PO and R2-D2. Like, if you really think about it, R2-D2, from the very beginning, has saved the world every time. He is the one that saves everything. He always comes at the end, he does something, and saves everything. If you take a deep dive and look, R2-D2 is a superhero. But they concentrated more on C-3PO this time, and you didn't see R2-D2 that much. You did, but, I mean, C-3PO was he had a pretty big part in this.
The Star Wars itself was based on the Hidden Fortress, which was Kurosawa's film, and in that the idea was to tell the story from the point of view of the lowliest characters. So in Hidden Fortress, it was 2 peasants who are R2-D2 and C-3PO, and so when they make Star Wars, that's what those characters are. You're kind of getting the story from that point of view. So that's why those characters, I think, have been staples of the series for so long, and they're a necessary part.
Yeah, he was extra shiny in this. Like, he looked good.
I'm glad that they decided to use 3PO for the humor instead of trying to bring in another character.
Well, he's always been well, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so many things just so many different conversations and stuff were just felt repeated and just played out. Like, oh, they're not going to arrive. Oh, no, what are we going to do? Dude, But there is some good stuff. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Star Wars,
movie.
How could you not go see the final piece? If you've seen the first 8 pieces to this.
And you have. But, you're going to see it. Go see it. It's the finale. It answers a lot of questions. I like that part of it. There are some cool, we know Sidious is back from the trailers and from the poster. It's not a spoiler. That's kind of cool. They do some cool stuff with him. Besides that, though, it's the Star Wars dilemma. The problem is you cannot beat 4, 5, and you just can't. And everything else,
the bar was
repetitive.
set too high. Yeah. But also they've chosen to just kind of keep doing this repetitive. Let's keep doing what worked and keep doing it over and over and over again. In this film, every little thing that they did that was original or new that they hadn't done before, that's what I enjoyed the most. I mean, it's fun to see the nostalgic stuff, but at the same time, we've seen it so many times before that, I prefer when they come up with something new.
It's just like the same idea with the new face on it. That's the problem. We could go on and on and on. I'd rather go back. I would love to do a video where we come back in a week or maybe after the new year and discuss all the problems, where we can talk about spoilers and all that stuff and have people join us as well. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of problems and there's a lot of people that love Star Wars or hate Star Wars. So with that being said, enjoy the movie. I'm not going to give it a thumbs up or down. It's Star Wars #9, the finale. I'll go see it. What do you think? Go see it?
How could you not? It's one of those films that's a little critic proof. It doesn't matter if the critics say they like it or don't like it. Everybody's going to go see it anyway. So
yeah, there's always those people. It's the best thing ever. I heard a guy behind us again. Oh my my God, let me hold on. I'm like, oh God, man. You never saw. You don't understand. So anyway, thanks again, Joel. Check them out, gonewiththetwins.com, for their written movie reviews on everything you could think of. And we'll see you next time. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good one. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to use any of these coupon codes, go ahead. It's all there for you to use and abuse. Please check out this sick video next. And again, please hit that like button, throw a comment down, and please subscribe. Love you guys. Stay sick. See you later.